Welcome back to Tyria, fellow heroes. On this channel, I discuss the factions that design and build the worlds we experience in our games, movies, and stories. If you want to see more of that, hit subscribe. Today, I'm going to discuss how the technology of the world affects the professions in Guild Wars 2, and how those professions drive the development of new technology. As a warning, this video contains spoilers for the story of Guild Wars 2. Alright, let's get into it. Tyria and the surrounding lands are a place where technology and magic combine to create a world where anything is possible. As the needs of the people have shaped the tools they create, so have some of those tools shaped the way the people learn and fight. When a wolf attacks a village, an unskilled warrior with a crude spear can fight it off, but when a dragon threatens a city, you'll need a new breed of protector. Fire, steel, steam, and magic have given the people of Tyria and the lands beyond new tools that constantly change in form to fit the needs of those who wield them. But that's not all. As the disciplines of combat alter the weapons we use, so does knowledge of how those weapons work allow us to develop brand new methods of using them. The Holosmiths, for instance, whose way of using light to reshape a battlefield, or the Deadeyes, who have so finely honed the use of the rifle that they can pick off powerful targets at a distance. The Specialists have not just changed the weapons have bred new forms and specialties as well. The Shaper and the Shape create a great unified cycle of continued development and learning that will only grow as new technologies are uncovered. The professions available to the people of this world are integral to the technology that shapes the land. We learn from our history that many of our basic needs remain unchanged even as the world revolves around us. Many have learned to use the lessons of the past to hone their skills with some of our most ancient tools. Beginning with the epitome of war, a master of combat, and the profession which has most finely honed the use of its thirst for battle and rage at its enemies. The warrior excels in all forms of martial combat, able to wield weapons of all kinds and wear the heaviest armor available. They can smite a foe up close or at range. As they fight, the warrior builds up their rage and can unleash it in devastating bursts during a fight. The weapons and armor available in Tyria have been shaped to fit the needs of warriors. Great swords are heavy and strong to facilitate their brutal sweeping attacks against many foes at once. Maces are made to deal massive crushing blows. Axes are made to be light so they can spin and throw them when required. Staffs used by warriors are martial in nature but can be used by these lords of the battlefield to heal and help those in need of strength. Only the lightest weapons are of little use to warriors. Pistols, for instance, or daggers are not helpful in delivering these powerful attacks. That said, once a warrior chooses to specialize, a number of new weapons become available. As a berserker, they learn to use the power of flame to burn their foes and fuel their rampages. As a result, they find torches useful as a weapon. The torch, wild abandoned, can be seen spreading the flames of battle wherever they go. As a spellbreaker, daggers become useful to warriors who need to get up close and personal with a target. They can deliver powerful blows to powerful wielders of magic and take them off the field. A warrior who prefers to wield the powers of the modern age can choose to become a bladesworn. They'll hone their ability with powder and bullet and learn to wield a pistol. Their primary weapon, however, is unique, a tool whose secrets are known only to them. The gun saber. When a bladesworn unsheathes this mixture of sword and gun, they can combine the deadly properties of both weapons into a seamless combat system. Developments in technology have led to these new weapons being created in Cantha, which provides fertile ground for training new methods of combat with them. For something a little lighter, when they just need to fire a shot or two, they'll use a pistol, the keenest cut, also fitted with a blade, just in case. A bastion of virtue, a bulwark against corruption, a shield against the darkness stands the Guardian. Armored in steel and radiating strength and honor, they take to the field of battle, slaying enemies and helping allies. Their powers constantly aid them in their fight, though they can sacrifice the benefits they gain to project aid to others in times of need. Guardian training comes from an older time, slower to adapt to new technology to their needs. They have for generations fought with the weapons of their ancestors, trusting in their virtue and strength to carry the day. They favor blades and steel, larger weapons that can deliver powerful strikes, sword, axe, mace, and shield. A guardian who learns the art of the dragon hunter will make use of the longbow to strike hard and fast at range. They use traps to keep their enemies down rather than wade into the fight, as they once would have done. The firebrand wields the lore and history of the world as a weapon itself, and when that fails, an axe. Willbenders wield swords and move through the fight quickly, their blades fast and powerful as they strike at their foes. As I've said, Guardians are less affected by advances in technology. They prefer the old ways. The same could be said for the third of the primary combat professions as well. The revenants have come out of the mists to channel the legends and power that reside there. Their training is tighter and more focused. They tend to prefer blades and heavy weapons and don't have much use for technology. They fight like the legends of old, bringing forth the powers and stories from the oldest tales to aid them and their allies. Those who choose to walk the path of the Herald can use the powers of the legendary dragon Glint. Reflecting her light in their shields, they can heal and protect themselves and others on the battlefield. Those who choose to follow the legend of the Renegade will have learned to use bows to inflict death upon their foes. These techniques require an intimate knowledge of the weapon and how it can be used. Their arrows break, shatter, and burst into flame by the use of magic. Vindicators wield the powers of ancient legends of the Luxons and Kurziks, wielding a massive greatsword and rending the mists asunder to rain death upon their enemies. The mighty warriors, whose needs in battle have given our weapons the shapes they've had for generations, will always be needed, but as the world changes, so does our understanding of technology. There are those who benefit from these changes, and those who drive it forward. New scientific principles are constantly being discovered, and as a result, many new professions have been built on these innovations. The engineers are constantly learning ways to use the emergent nature of science and technology to solve old problems and drive new discoveries forward. Fighting with shield and blade are good enough for some, but bullets and bombs offer a different approach to the problems of war. Facing their enemies with belts full of useful gadgets, the engineers are always prepared. They wield chemical elixirs to enhance their own abilities and aid their allies, increasing strength, speed, agility, and resistance. They can slow, enchant, or weaken any foe. Their kits allow them to throw bombs for damage or in control, repair damaged equipment, provide medicine to injured allies, and even wield their flamethrowers to reduce their enemies to ash. They've tapped into the most recent innovations in technology with their gadgets, allowing them to equip rocket boots, special goggles, or even deploy devastating battering rams concealed about their person. And they've learned to deploy automated turrets that help control the field of battle by spitting bullets, flames, and chemical weapons at range, while they get on with the business of smashing the enemy in front of them. Those who choose to specialize as scrappers can use the latest innovations in remote control and flight technology to deploy drones that can act autonomously, damaging enemies, healing allies, and protecting the engineer from damage. Holosmiths have learned to harness the power of heat and light to turn illusions into reality. They use their photon forges to create barriers, form new weapons, and alter the shape of the battlefield to their advantage. The powerful forge is dangerous to use, to all but those most highly trained in the art of the holosmith. These machines are complex. Then there are the mechanists, harnessing the powers of Jade Tech to power massive golems that stride across the field of battle and deal damage at their command. Powerful energy cannons ripple with the barely contained forces of dragon magic, and their beams incinerate enemies with ease. They excel in close combat as well, smashing and cutting through the battle with tools and weapons of all kinds. The engineers push the boundaries of technology. They change the way we use the tools available to us. The profession possibly least like the engineers is the ranger. They rely on their skills and knowledge of the wilds to survive and overcome challenges. Rangers befriend the animals roaming the environs of Tyria and the lands beyond, and form symbiotic relationships with them. Their survival skills keep them alive where others would perish to the elements. They use bows and blades, spears and axes among other weapons, and often avoid relying on more complex technology. Druids are highly in tune with the magic of the world and the cosmos. They shape these powers to defeat obstacles and enhance their abilities and those of their allies. Soul beasts have mastered their bond with their pets to such a degree that they can become one in body and spirit, taking on new powers and abilities in battle. Likewise, the untamed have learned to use their connection to their pets to unlock new abilities and powers. Rangers are an example of those who are so closely tied to the powers of the world that perhaps developments in technology have passed them by, though their connection to the land has given them strength. Some professions are less concerned with novel inventions, while others embrace them. Some, though, have managed to combine ancient power and knowledge with new technology. Thieves have long been present in the lands of Tyria, wielding sharp blades and striking from the shadows. They are by nature opportunists, and if given the opportunity to apply their deadly arts with new tools, they won't turn away from it. Chemical concoctions have long been a staple of the thief's arsenal, from inflicting pain and debilitating conditions to deadly poisons that eat away at an enemy's health. As new avenues are opened by explorers through the world, they've learned new ways to use developments in chemistry to their advantage. Pistols have replaced bows in the regalia of some thieves. Easily hidden, they can be wielded to great effect for a quick burst of damage at range. Those who follow the path of the daredevil can combine speed and close combat skills with the use of bullets to tear through enemies on the field. The Spectre has elevated the training given to thieves to a much higher level, using magic and shadows to their advantage. They move quickly and silently, dealing heavy blows to any who stand in their way. Those thieves who make the most of modern innovations through the Deadeyes, combining the power of the rifle with expert training in combat. The Deadeye can wait silently and hidden for a foe to come into range, and from a distance, unleash fire upon them. Their training with ranged weapons is unparalleled, and they showcase the deadly power of new tools when combined with magic and tactical training. As we've discussed before, science and technology in Tyria are intricately linked with the magic of the world. Those who push our knowledge and progress forward know that magic is one of the many forces our technology can be made to harness. While the most powerful mages tend to study the old ways of using magic, avoiding complex technology, their skill gives us greater insight into how these forces work. The Elementalists are masters of the natural powers of the elements. They feel the earth beneath their feet, the wind howling during a storm, the heat of fire pulsing through the world, and the ocean waves beating against the shore. They study these elements and wield them the way a warrior does a sword or an engineer a wrench. They turn the power of fire to burn their foes, of water to soothe and heal. They use the winds to enhance their powers and earth to strengthen their bodies. Elementalists can further specialize as a tempest to expend great power by funneling the elements into mighty storms. They can learn to combine the elements by training the arts of the weaver, creating new combinations of effects which rarely occur without a little help. Or they can become a catalyst, combining the natural powers of the elements with jade-based dragon magic to create areas of power that affect both allies and enemies. Our understanding of the natural elements owes a great debt to the Elementalists and their various fields of study. Magic flows through the world though, and it takes many forms, more than those we can see, hear, and feel. Those who study the arcane more closely can learn to turn magic into might. Thus, the Mesmers can create illusions and powerful effects by channeling the energy all around them. They manage to balance their arts with the use of more complex technology, using guns to project their power even further. Mesmers can change one's perception or reality of time. They can even create portals from one place to another. By studying the arts of the Mirage, a Mesmer can use their understanding of perception to cloak their movements and confuse their enemies. They understand the subtle arts of deception possibly to a greater degree even than the elusive thieves. The Virtuoso has come to understand the psychology of both enemy and ally, unlocking new ways to turn magic into a weapon. They wield their psychic powers masterfully, using their psychic daggers to create a number of effects, both harmful and beneficial. Then, there are those who have put to use the study of time, altering fate and changing the very fabric of reality. The chronomancers can turn a defeat into victory, returning to a time before they were slain, learning from their mistakes. They can slow enemies or give speed to their allies. Their constant study of the forces of time and their subtle understanding of causality give them the power to push the boundaries of reality. Perhaps the most misunderstood area of magic is that surrounding death. Many would rather look away and keep death at a distance. Not the necromancers. They delve deeply into the unknown, and from the powers of the dead bring about change. Necromancers use every tool they can in service of their goals, from both the old world and the new. Wielding the powers of gods to bring death to their enemies and heal their allies, they call forth the spirits of the dead to aid them. They swing massive swords and use their knowledge of poisons to overcome challenges. They don't shy away from using technology in the form of pistols when a more modern solution is needed. Those who become reapers harvest the spirits of the living to fuel them, becoming an avatar of death itself to destroy their foes. The Scourges wield the powers of the sands to create powerful effects that harm their enemies and help their friends, giving life to powerful shades that can act on their behalf. And the Harbingers use their study of alchemy and technology to walk a thin line between power and corruption, always ready to bring death to those who stand in their way. In this way, the study of death and life, of the most ancient and the new, have changed the way Tyrians see the specter of death. The technology we develop as our needs change, as well as the lessons we learn from the tools we create, are inseparably linked to the form and function of our many cultures. If we'd not learned the secrets of steel, or of powder and bullets, or magic, the world would look very different. If even the way we chose to shape these things in the distant past had not been as they are, the world might well be unrecognizable in one way or another today. The professions available to study for the people of Tyria are constantly changing, as are the forces that shape the way the worlds work. Soon, a new breed of hero will likely emerge, bringing new knowledge and experience to light and forever changing the face of Tyria and the lands beyond. Choose your profession wisely and learn the forces at work behind the powers you're given. Failure means death, though even death is not the end here.
There are so many forces at work in the world of Tyria, and so many paths open to those who want to make use of them. I hope you find one that suits you. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate everyone who does, especially if you stick around to the end. And if you like the video, please hit like. If you want to discuss the topic, or think I missed anything, let me know in the comments down below. Oh, and before you go, I want to give a shout out to my patrons who help support the channel. Our $10 patron is Watuki at the artisan level. If you want to get your name in the credits, head on over and sign up. The Patreon link is in the description. you'll get access to an exclusive Discord and some exclusive art and stories that you can use or discuss and contribute to. And remember, if you die in battle, don't worry. A necromancer will be along to resurrect you shortly. Alright, thank you all. Bye, Internet.